All right, guys, and joining us right now is Frisco Rough Rider left-handed pitcher Kohl Drake, who was part of something pretty cool the other night. You were 6 innings of a no-hitter that the Rough Riders threw the other night. What's going on, man?
Not much, just hanging out in San Antonio right now.
How have they upgraded that ballpark? Because now Nolan Ryan's group owns a piece of it.
Right.
And I'm guessing maybe you've heard some stories about how it used to be, but is it decent now?
Yeah, from what so this is my first time playing here. And so from what all the other guys who have played here in previous years, they said that they did renovate like the visiting locker room, so it's a little bit bigger. There's like a bigger cafeteria, actual training room, and the locker room itself is a little bit bigger. Other than that, I don't know how much more they've upgraded.
Well, they used to have a AAA team, and
yeah.
the reason that it was deemed not good enough for AAA, so that's why they've had to do some things. But yeah, the Nolan Ryan group, which owns Round Rock, where you'll soon be if you keep pitching like you are, they have a quarter of the team now, and so I think that they've
done some
renovations.
Are they still the Missions?
Yeah, they're still the Missions. Yeah,
still the Missions.
Yeah. All right. So you throw 6 no-hit innings. It's the minor league, so you're probably on a pitch count and all that. Did you ask to keep going?
No, because I understand the situation. Once we hit our pitch count limit, there's really nothing that we can do. Like they're looking at our future as a sense of they want to build us up the right way. They don't want to let us go too many, especially if we're not ready for it. So, especially like this being my 3rd year, like I get it. Like I pretty much know when I'm done pitch count wise. So
yeah,
I would have loved to kept going, but I totally understand. And the guys that come in after me always shove anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you tossed 6, then Ryan Lobus came in, and then I don't know if it was Hale's day to pitch or not, but it always helps to bring in a guy who can throw it through a brick wall.
Yeah.
To come in and finish things off. So I saw the video after the final out, and it seemed kind of subdued initially. Now it is a combined no-hitter, and you guys did end up allowing a run.
Yeah.
But did you guys you guys are, I guess, were aware of it. Did you just not know how to react? What was going on?
I think we all kind of were just like, it's just a win. And then we did celebrate a little bit in the locker room afterwards because that was our pitching coach's first no-hitter in pro ball. So we did kind of give him a little bit of a celebration and congratulations.
Well, that's cool.
But like on the field, I think we all were kind of just on the same page. Like, let's just shake hands and enjoy the win.
All right. So it was your longest outing of the year. You've had some big strikeout games. John here is dealing with allergies.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
All of his coughs.
No, it's all good.
It is springtime in Texas, so I guess we're all feeling a little bit. But what has been working for you so far to start the season?
I think I've really done a good job of being able to throw all 4 of my pitches for strikes and be able to expand a little bit into strike counts. Also, getting ahead in the count is huge for me. So I think those 3 things combined have really allowed me to just kind of cruise through some innings, some quality innings. So
last year, you pitched it at 2 levels or 3 levels, excuse me. 3 levels. You're a big strikeout guy, low walk guy. Is there a big difference? Is it how much harder is it to pitch to AA hitters? Do you have to, like Mike Maddox always says, know where your outs are? Do you need to navigate around some guys? How's the pitching approach, I guess, change at this level?
I think I first kind of noticed it last year when I had my spot start in AA early on in the year.
Early on, right?
the team that I spot started against ended up winning the Texas League last year, and so they were a solid team. And I think the first thing I noticed is like, even though like I could get ahead in the count, like they would foul off a bunch of pitches and 2 strikeouts. Like their approaches are a lot better. And so just from my end, I knew that I needed to have better 2-strike pitches. Like I couldn't get away with those 2-strike pitches that I could get away with at Down East.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so getting to experience it at the end of the year last year and then coming into this year, I definitely knew like in 2-strike counts, like the pitch has to be, if you want the strikeout, the pitch has to be the right pitch in the right spot.
Okay. Gotcha. So you were in big league camp, and unfortunately your back flared up on you. But nevertheless, what was the experience like at big league camp?
Very surreal to be able to, watch guys like Evo, DeGrom, Cody Bradford is the guy that I've talked to as well. Those guys definitely, have some good insight to give. And then also being around Mike Maddox, he's a great pitching coach. Very, I don't even know how else to say it. Good pitching coach, has some good insight all the time.
Yeah. He's with the hitting coach change in the big league, it's kind of talked about how like he's like the guy who instills the confidence and the guy who makes suggestions and things like that. But there are other guys like who, Jordan Teagues, who's now the bullpen coach, Jordan real well. There's a whole team of guys, it seems like, but what did you, were there any tips that you were able to take away from Mike in your limited exposure to him?
Yeah, he definitely kind of told me to just keep things pretty simple. I think while I was in camp, especially like in the bullpens I was throwing, I was trying to do a little bit too much. And so he was really just trying to get me to keep things simple and just trust the stuff that I have.
Yeah. No, that's the old keep it simple, stupid routine. That works.
Yeah.
Did some pretty good things for his brother.
That adheres to a lot of life.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple, dumb.
Yeah.
So this back thing, was it out of nowhere? Is it something you dealt with in the past? And do you have like a routine for it now, a maintenance thing?
Yeah, definitely have a routine going right now. We don't need to go down another 2 weeks for it in season. So got a pretty solid routine going to keep the pain at bay. I have dealt with it previously before pro ball.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different in spring, but it was, kind of a weird flare up nonetheless. But we handled it and we're back on track now.
I mean, you're a big guy. You're 6'5".
Yeah.
So I don't know if taller guys deal with back issues more or not, but
The short, fat guys can deal with them too. That's what I know.
well, if you keep your midsection small, you're going to be in good shape.
That was a direct shot at me.
I do too. Hey, of the three of us here, I'm the one who's had back surgery.
That's true.
Right? So it's not.
And I'm losing weight. I have lost some weight, so I'm on my way.
Yeah. But, all right. So the guys in the rotation with you, we all know them, and they're all good dudes. Seems like there's you always hear about the chemistry thing and moving up with guys throughout the system. So what's it like on a day-to-day? Do you guys watch each other's bullpens? Do you go out to eat together, play cards together? What's it like with those fellas?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a staff, we kind of watch each other throw, talk to each other constantly about throwing, especially in the game, right? Like when one of us is throwing, I feel like we're all kind of in the dugout chatting together, looking at the TrackMan, seeing what pitch, like how the pitches are moving, what pitches he's throwing in what count, and kind of just talking about it. And we also talk to our pitching coach as well about it. He loves to talk about ball during the game. So
you have the TrackMan information just right there, huh? Does that ever become a distraction for you? Like if you're pitching in the game, does that kind of complicate the keep it simple thing?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's just really there.
Okay. You're not looking, how's my spin rate on my slider or anything like that?
No, when I'm throwing, that's the last thing I'm looking at.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Had you worked with Julio Valdez before?
I have. So
What is he like? I mean, because he's new to the staff, so I haven't met him. I've seen him in spring training, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, I got to work with him. He was our pitching coach in 23 at Down East, and then he was the pitching coach in Hickory last year. So I've kind of come up with him as my pitching coach through the organization, and he's great. He also likes to keep things pretty simple for me at least, which I like. Like I don't like too much tweaking here and there. Like I just kind of like. So he's kind of there to just kind of get me to reset and like get back to who I am. Like if I am doing too much.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds like things are going great.
2.45 ERA.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Lots of strikeouts, part of a no hitter, as we said again. Did we mention I mentioned the guys, right? Him, then Lobus, then
Hales.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's time for John to ask some questions. One more I did want to ask though. How you like pitching so close to home?
I love it. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I get to live at home. So I see my family pretty much every day when we're at home, and they get to come to the games. So it's very awesome to basically be back at home, kind of like I was when I was in high school.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were living at home or not, or if you were, had your own place closer to the field, but you're not that far away, are you?
No, I live about 25 minutes from the field, so just a small commute every day.
Yeah,
but it's worth it to live at home.
Free rent.
100% free rent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Free rent. Mom and dad's cooking. Shoot.
Man, I got two boys that take total advantage of that, man. One of them's home from school right now, raiding my fridge. He's home from college, and the other one's heading out. So I don't blame you for that. Okay, last time you were on here, we talked a lot about your life growing up, where you went to school, getting drafted. We did all that fun stuff. Now I just found some fun things we're going to talk about on here. Now you guys, it's strange. Now you guys don't get a lot of days off. Look, minor leaguers' day off are Mondays, and I'm talking about the whole team gets the day off. Now the way that y'all, usually you're traveling, if y'all are traveling anywhere, but if you're not traveling and say you're at home or for 2 weeks or whatever, what's something you like to do when you get a full day off? What's something you like to do?
Well, I used to go golf on my off days. But with the back flare up, I don't want to risk it popping back up. So I haven't gone golfing yet. So now I just kind of, I have a dog at home, so I'll just kind of hang out with her. If I need to go into the field to throw, like I'll take her with me, take her to the field and let her run around the outfield.
What kind of dog?
Play fetch with her. She's a golden retriever.
I got two.
Yeah, they're the best.
They're the best, man. They're the best. And then right now I've got three because my daughter has gone out of town for a trip and she's got one. So I've got the grand dog and they're just running around destroying everything.
Sounds like a fun time over there.
Do what now?
I said it sounds like a fun time at your place.
It's a lot. We've got a pool back there, and although we love it, they like to swim. We don't want them getting in it right now, coming in the house and shaking. And she's the culprit. She's here and she's like, there's a pool. And so she's jumping in and coming in and shaking, and it's not making my wife very happy.
Now Frisco has a dog, right?
Yeah, Brooks. He's also a golden retriever.
Right. Yeah. Brooks. So Brooks and your dog, what's her name?
My dog's name is Kirby.
Do they play? Have they met?
They haven't met yet. I don't know if Brooks is ever really there on the off day, and I'm not going to bring my dog in on a game day. So,
on a game day, yeah.
What about Bark in the Park night? I thought they just had Bark in the
Park.
But
what's he going to do? He can't have her in the dugout.
Parents are there, you know.
Oh, that's true. I guess if your parents were there.
Well, I've tried to tell them to bring her. I've tried to tell my parents to bring her for Bark in the Park, but they're like, oh, we don't want her to be like overstimulated around all the other dogs because she loves other dogs. So.
Oh, sure. Mine would be. Mine are crazy. They would. I can't bring my dogs to Bark in the Park. I've got one that could, but the other one's like, no, he likes to go around and let everybody know he's the boss until there's a big dog in his face, and then he wimps out. That's the way he is.
Well, Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about a few of your teammates. Some fun questions about your teammates we like to talk about. So let me ask you this. If you were in a back alley fight and it's going to throw down, who's the guy on the team that you're like, that's the one guy I want standing next to me because I feel like he could help me?
Oh, back alley fight. Hmm.
Or front alley fight.
Or front.
Any alley.
Honestly, I'd probably take Alejandro Zuna. I feel like he's he could be a
He's got
sneaky
an
good
edge.
fighter. I feel like he's a sneaky good fighter. You know, he's a great athlete, and I feel like he could definitely hold his own against anybody for sure.
If you guys kind of come up each level together, because I got a feeling if things keep going the way they are, you'll probably both be going to the next level together.
He was in Hickory when I got to Hickory last year, and then he hit for the cycle like the second day I was there, and then went to Frisco. So we were only teammates for like 2 days in Hickory last year, and then obviously he was here when I got here last year.
Yeah, he's not the tallest guy in the world.
No.
But he's like a fire hydrant. I mean, he's big, strong. Like his legs are.
He's a left-handed Blaine
thick.
Krim who can play the outfield.
He's faster than Blaine.
Yeah,
he's a workhorse. He plays the game hard.
Yeah, he does, and that's the thing that in spring training, you'd ask, Tony Beasley or Bruce Bochy, hey, what do you like about him? Oh, he's a ball player. He plays the game hard, plays the game the right way. So
he does.
I always picture him if he'd grown up in Texas. He's that kid that it's a running back. He's everything baseball player, but he's the running back on a state championship team that's never going to go to college, but just runs through everybody and just one of those guys. Okay, who's the best dressed? Who's the guy that's always looking pretty sharp?
Oh,
you can vote for yourself.
It's definitely not me. I wear plain t-shirts and some pants. That's about it. The best dress, I mean, probably Caber Rodriguez. I feel like he always comes in. Him or Cam Colley, they always come in, pretty fashioned out, looking good.
Okay, I could see that with Cam.
Yeah,
Cam. And
Cam did he just get married?
I don't think they're married yet.
He's getting engaged or something like that. Okay.
I believe he's engaged.
She's probably tending to him.
Okay, that's probably it. She probably dresses him. That's what it is.
Maybe.
When I look nice, it's because my wife stopped me at the door and went, wait, no. She's dressed me. Okay, so who's the funniest? Who's the guy that keeps everybody laughing, cracking everybody up?
Oh, my goodness. Ryan Lobus. He is always cracking me up in some way, shape, or form.
Now, is he a prankster?
He's not really a prankster, but he's an absolute goofball.
Are there any pranksters in that clubhouse?
I don't know if we have too many. We tried to pull a prank on Ozuna the other day. It didn't work. So
what did you try to do?
He was taking a little pregame nap, and so we all tried to like hide and then get him, like wake him up and say, hey, like the game is starting, even though we had another I think we had another hour and a half until the game started, but we tried to like scare him and he wasn't fazed at all.
Solid.
That would have been hysterical. Did y'all have a video on it? Trying to get a video?
Yeah, we tried to get a video of it, but since it didn't work out, I think that just went straight to the.
Yeah, he's got to act right. He's got to wake up and be stressed out. Okay. What is the weirdest food you've ever eaten? I'm coming out of left field.
I'm such a picky eater. Like I would not eat anything too crazy. Probably maybe calamari, I guess. I'm not a big seafood guy, so I tried it and it's octopus. So I was kind of sketched about it already, but
I love calamari.
I do too. It's good. I like calamari too.
Okay, so what's the weirdest thing you've eaten, John? Me
personally, I mean, people think it's weird or whatever. I like raw oysters. That's not. I mean, I'm trying to think of is there a bug or anything? I remember CJ Nikowski talked about something he ate when he was playing in Korea or something.
Well, in Seattle, they used to sell fried crickets or something like that.
Okay.
So I think
man.
I had one of those. When Yu Darvish was with the Rangers, the Japanese media would take some of us out.
Yeah.
So I've had shark fin.
I've never had that. I would try it. Now I used to be picky like you. Cole, but I as I've gotten older, I've started trying more things, and so I'm not that way anymore. So I'll try just about anything.
And then I went out one time in Anaheim with them, and the dish it was raw hamburger with a raw egg, and they were shocked that I ate it. It was pretty good.
Not bad. I've eaten raw
I
meat
can't remember
before.
what it's called. Yakiniku? No.
You can't eat a lot of raw meat because it's not good, but I've eaten a bite of raw meat. It doesn't bother me. So
Well, anyway, yeah. So I'll eat some weird stuff. I'm not ashamed.
hey, so what do you guys do these bus trips? And some of them are longer than others. What do you guys do on these trips? Are you guys playing cards? Are you watching movies? Is there anything right now that it's your go-to right now? You got a show you're streaming right now or anything like that?
Usually on like the days when we're traveling to a place, a lot of us are just kind of sleeping, resting on the bus. And on the way home on the Sunday, sometimes we'll play like a game as a team, or sometimes guys will bring cards. We'll play some cards. If not, then usually everyone's sleeping or watching a show. I don't really have a show. I was watching Chernobyl. That's about the only show that I have been watching recently, to be honest.
Chernobyl.
What is that?
Well, that's where the nuclear disaster was. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
So
it's a good show. It's really
is it on
intriguing.
Netflix? What is it?
I believe it's on Hulu.
Okay. Chernobyl. I've heard of it,
Hulu,
but
yeah.
I don't know that one. Now, are you a movie guy, a rom-com guy, or anything like that?
Rom-coms.
Because who was the rom-com last week? Dylan Dryling's a rom-com guy.
He admitted it.
Is he?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, right?
I mean, I don't think so. I feel like I could get down with a good rom-com every now and then. I definitely am more of a movie guy. I like the sci-fi or action movies for sure.
Cool. Those are cool.
Okay, so what's your favorite movie?
Probably Inception.
Inception. I haven't seen it.
I've heard of it. I know it's supposedly really good. I like some sci-fi because I grew up. Star Wars came out when I was 10 years old, so that was a huge deal for me. And then they kind of ruined it. Well, the second one was good too, but then they kind of ruined it later years. But so now, do you have? Okay, I'm going all random all over the place. What?
Inception. No,
you got a favorite? You got a favorite baseball or sports movie?
Bull Durham.
For sure.
Oh, that's the king.
Bull Durham.
See, we were last week when Dylan Dreiling was on the show. I Googled top rom-coms ever, and they have Bull Durham as a rom-com.
It was.
And
really?
I guess it is. Although I don't know that that's a romance between him and the gal.
Sarandon. Susan Sarandon.
It seemed like a 24-hour romance. But anyway.
Well, they ended up together at the end.
Yeah, okay.
You know, when he's going to be
so,
a coach or whatever. All right, we're going to end it on a fun one. Kind of fun, whatever. Okay, and I'm going to preface this because I started trying to think who I would want at this dinner, and I didn't come up with it. But it was easy to come up with one, and I thought, okay, I got to take that off the table. It's if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why? And leave out family, because my immediate thought was, because I immediately thought my dad, who passed away when I was 26, that would be something I'd love to go have a dinner with my dad. I want to take that off the table because that's so easy.
Well,
if you have
three, not just one, you can do
three people, dead or alive, that you don't know that are known names that you'd like to have a dinner with, who would it be?
Oh man, I mean, my first thought is definitely a pitcher of some sort in the big leagues. So I think Randy Johnson, right? I think getting to talk to him about mindset, his preparation, because he obviously is one of the best pitchers of all time.
Sure.
Left-handed as well. So it's going to know like what worked for him coming up and whatnot. And then, man, maybe like a former president like a George Washington or Abe Lincoln.
That would be cool.
Gonna know.
Yeah, Lincoln would be really cool.
And then as a third one,
I always think of a
probably
comedian or actor. Or...
Yeah, I was gonna think of like a celebrity of some sort, like maybe like let's say like the main actor in Inception is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay, so that would be pretty interesting.
Hey, he could give you some good dating tips.
Yeah,
maybe so.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting because Lincoln was a pretty. I've read about Lincoln.
Yeah.
I mean, huge historical figure, obviously, but he was like a funny guy.
Yeah,
He was
supposedly.
very clever and witty, and
Yeah.
it's 1860s humor, but nevertheless, I think he would be a good one to. That's a pretty good one, and like Ulysses S. Grant would probably be on my list too.
Yeah,
drink some.
It's another good one for sure.
And but I don't know. I'd have to think about that one too.
And I'm not even talking about politics because you don't ever want to get into politics, but I've heard Bill Clinton was somebody that you'd want to hear some.
Also, dating tips.
Yeah, it's dating tips or stories. He had to have some wild stories. That guy right there. That
I imagine so.
I'd like to get more trash on his wife. Not a big fan of Mrs. Clinton.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna end it there. Listen, Cole, we can't thank you enough, man, for stopping and coming on. We thought we had somebody, but Cole, then immediately we started calling Zach afterwards. It's like, hey, can Cole jump on after a no hitter? I mean, 6 innings, a no hit ball, 7 Ks. You're killing it there at AA. I've meant to get out there a couple times. I just haven't had a chance because I've got kids.
It's early.
I've got a kid graduating high school, and I am getting told to do so much stuff right now. But I'm in
that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
I know, but I'm in Richardson. I'm so close. I could be up there in 15 minutes, but the wife just points at stuff and says, do it. So, Cole, thank you so much. You got one more thing for him or anything?
No, just thanks again. Keep it up, and we'll see you soon enough.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
You got it. Thanks, Cole. I'll tag you when it's out. I'll let you know.
Perfect.
All right,
dude. Thanks.
Thank you.
Cole. All right, let's finish up what we were talking about because we were at the big league level. So we were kind of done with it, but I did want to bring up one more thing before we go down in the bus leagues, and that is the new signing that was just announced.
Oh, yeah.
Of the new Shohei Ohtani coming out of Korea. And I'm gonna butcher this name, but I want to make sure I say it right. His name is Kim Sung Joon.
Yeah.
Kim Sung. Now you've talked to some brass.
If you've noticed me looking down during this episode,
you're still trying to figure out.
It's ongoing.
Yes. Now he is signed, or he's agreed to a deal.
He is not signed. He's agreed to a deal for just under 1.5 million. It's not 1.5, but it's close. He needs to sign. He needs to take a physical.
He is foregoing KBO. He is not going to play in Korea.
He's not going to go into the Korean draft. And for a while there, and I think it still is kind of taboo. Excuse me, at least in Japan, there was kind of a understanding that MLB teams would leave their amateur players alone. I think Tazawa, maybe Tazawa might have been an exception. The Red Sox, when they were going crazy internationally, just signing all the Cubans and all that stuff, might have broached that or breached that. And so I don't know if that's the same situation in Korea. Now, Shin-Soo Choo is a guy who did not go into the KBO draft.
Right.
He signed with the Mariners, came over,
went up through their minor league system, and became
a long journey through the minor leagues. Don't forget, Shin-Soo Choo was in the minor leagues for a long time
before he established himself.
And they traded him. And anyway, but so it is an interesting deal. Of course, the sexy thing is the Korean Ohtani.
Yeah,
that's not fair.
No.
He has been signed.
He's a two-way player. That's what they're saying.
With the opportunity to continue to develop as a two-way player. Sounds like shortstop, which is interesting.
Yeah. Anybody that plays shortstop
they're athletic.
They're athletic. So they're going to play at the middle somewhere. Right.
So, we'll see, and
does he throw 100 miles an hour? Or
I don't know. That's part of what
I have been trying
I've got one guy here and one guy in Venezuela I'm talking to. So I'm not sure how the texts get through in Venezuela.
Now wasn't there a U.S.
not Venezuela,
a U.S. high school pitcher,
Venezuela.
A high school pitcher in the United States who ended up foregoing the American draft and signed with the Japanese team?
That did happen. I don't remember his name. That was a couple of years ago.
Right. And I don't think he's done anything really yet, or
Yeah.
maybe had some issues.
But anyway,
arm issues, guys, not personal issues. I think he had some arms issues.
So anyway, it's interesting. He should be in the United States within a couple weeks.
Okay.
To begin his journey, and I'm assuming he's going to go to Arizona and immediately regret signing because it's going to be 150 degrees. But
although we don't know really Korean climate, maybe it's hot there too.
Well,
I don't
it can
know.
be very cold there as well. Like
sure,
the World Baseball Classic. I don't remember which player it was. It might have been Profar. Went over there to play for the Netherlands and didn't pack a coat. They got there and it was 2 degrees. And so he had to go buy a jacket. But anyway, so we'll see. You know, it's an 18-year-old kid, so he's in high school. But it's a big expenditure, 1.4.
Yeah.
So that they must have had some money left over from their
Sasaki.
From their class, this latest international signing class. They do try to hold money back in case somebody pops up, and they can grab them. So anyway, I'm definitely curious. I'm definitely interested.
Well, look, I think they wanted Roki Sasaki. They did, but when he didn't go, they could have gone right out and had a big international signing class. They held this money back. I wonder if they've known, hey, this is somebody we've had some good communication with this kid.
Yeah, I mean, these things don't just
it wasn't out of the blue
happen.
No,
it's not like, oh, hey, you want to sign?
Yeah, hey.
But yeah, the scouts who get the credit for that are Hamilton Wise, Johnny Klum.
Are they Pacific Rim guys?
No, Hamilton and Johnny are more Latin America. Andre is Pacific Rim, Korea specifically. And then the Rangers have their scouts in Japan,
right?
Joe Furukawa and Haji Watabe. But this is a big deal, and it's really interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to follow him as he progresses. But again, the complex league has started, and so I would anticipate that he goes there and works out with the team and maybe plays later in the season. I think there's some
he's
development stuff that needs to happen and get him, and there's the culture shock.
Sure.
He's got to have the cultural thing, and maybe his a parent will come with him. The team will obviously have a translator for him. So, but yeah, it's kind of exciting, and and you wonder, will he be able to pull it off? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and it is interesting, and with a two-way player, kind of the Ohtani route too.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to expose that arm too much once he gets here, so maybe he just plays in the field. You play the position, you get out and play some shortstop, center field, get your ABs, see what's going there, while still looking at how many innings have you had on your arm. Let's do all that. I don't know. In America now, they do monitor. Even in high school, there's only so many innings you can pitch a week, and they've started to try to do that.
Yeah,
but
and it'll be interesting. There hasn't been like a great Korean pitcher.
No,
in
Chan-Ho Park
in the majors, and so you do kind of wonder. But Chan-Ho had played in Korea,
sure.
Whereas this guy, we're getting, the Rangers are getting him in early, and they will be his professional development. So how will that work out? What difference would that make? But yeah, to get all of his bullets if he ends up pitching, and the Rangers have the opportunity to develop him. We'll see how that works out. The hitting wise, I think the hitters are starting to catch up a little bit more. It used to be you get a KBO hitter, and it was kind of dicey. They would have good moments, and they wouldn't. The Lee for the Giants is having a fantastic season.
Yeah,
Kim
has not been bad
with the Rays, and he's working out. He had the shoulder injury. I think it was a shoulder and an injury that has delayed his season, but he's doing full workouts. But not a lot of updates on him.
Right.
But he'll be in the major soon, and he was a heck of a player for the Padres.
Right. Yeah, he was good. He was,
Yeah.
but you're right. Like he came over, immediately made the big league team with the Padres when he was signed. And at first just took a little bit to get rolling.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
sure.
different pitching. He's never faced any pitching like that, but he obviously had talent and you could see it. And yeah, Lee's having a great year coming over. So it is intriguing. It's very intriguing, especially since they're calling him Ohtani, which is not fair, but he must be a good two-way player.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys that you see today were somewhat two-way players. You see a lot of guys.
Sure.
That,
Bobby Wood Jr. was a two-way player.
Sure.
He was the starting shortstop for Colorado Heritage, and he came in and closed games.
Absolutely. There was a guy that did.
They're all talented.
There was Duncanville won state championship. The last time they won state championship in baseball, there was a guy named Todd Ritchie who ended up.
Sure.
He was their ace on their staff. Their best position player was a guy named Steve Gibraltar, who ended up playing with Cincinnati Reds a little bit.
Yeah.
And doing that. Well, their state championship game, Steve Gibraltar came in to close out the last couple of games, and Todd Ritchie, who went from pitching, stayed in as the DH and hit a walk-off home run.
There you go.
So there you go. I mean, so that a lot of these guys, you can't tell me Corey Seager won the best player on his high school team and probably didn't throw a little bit.
Okay, Joey Gallo, right?
Yes, who's now pitching. He was a pitcher.
All kinds of guys. I mean, we're anyway, but yeah, I don't even know how, what his velocity is like, this Kim Sung-joon. Sure, we'll know soon enough.
There's one video, and I'm not going to post it because I don't know that it's him because everything's Korean, but this kid was throwing 100 miles an hour. I think it was him.
Okay.
He was throwing 100 miles an hour, but it may not be him. And I can't read any of the writing, and the translation didn't say his name. So I'm not going to say that because what if I'm wrong? And that's not fair to put that. Maybe this is a kid that throws low to mid 90s, but he's apparently a good pitcher. In fact, he could have been scouted each way, signed as a pro either way. Yeah. But they're going to give him the time. Okay, guys.
Oh, wait, we didn't mention Evan Carter. Evan Carter's back on the team, guys. And
yes,
that was the
move, the corresponding move with Leote. Yeah, Kohl jumped in real quick. We knew what time he was coming, and we were in the middle of talking when all of a sudden he popped in. So
it was all that mouse talk that really slowed us down here. But that's all right.
And lobster
like mouse talk. And lobster.
Mouse and lobster talk. But no, yes, and has looked good. Even against the left, got a good hit against the left the other night. He flared one out the other night too. Look, I'm not saying Evan Carter's back because there's no man. We're talking 3 games, but he certainly looks comfortable to play.
Yeah, he looks healthy. He is skinny though. Gosh, he's skinny.
He's always skinny though.
They gotta. If he's able to keep weight on, that will help as long as it's not a beer belly.
No, they need to push him up to the table every day and
they need to strengthen the core. Back injuries, you got to have a lot of core strength.
Sure.
To withstand the wear and tear, to be an everyday player, he's got to be stronger. He just does. So,
hey, is Jock using that bat now?
The torpedo bat? Yeah, apparently. I
don't know. I'm just glad to see Jock.
There've been some results.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Jock be Jock. It's starting to look a little bit like Jock again. All right, guys, listen. Big thanks to Kohl Drake there for joining us, but we're going to go down in the bus leagues now and recap the bus leagues. There's no minor league recap today, and we'll do that right after this.